When you see images like this of white Afrikaners going to the United States, I urge you to widen your perspective. Don't see this as just another example of the hypocrisy and the racism on asylum-seeking policies in Western countries. See it also as a lobbying process backfiring spectacularly. Because if you think that the far-right Afrikaner leadership is going to be happy to see all of these people going to the United States, you're dead wrong. In fact, they might be seeing this and being a little bit afraid. Extreme right-wing factions amongst them are very aggrieved that they don't have the same power that they used to have before. Because before they were an apartheid state. They see the slow steps of reforms that are happening in South Africa when it comes to equity, when it comes to land redistribution, as an existential threat because, again, they're used to having all the power. And that's the reason why lobbying groups like the Suidlanders and Afriforum have been trying to create this narrative that measures that the South African government has been doing to increase equity are white genocide and reverse racism. And as you can imagine, this found purchase in the alt-right, far-right circles in the West. For these people, this is a gold mine, because they can use this as a tool to try to persuade people in their own countries that white people are under threat everywhere, and that reverse racism is real. So when Donald Trump arrived in the White House with Elon Musk in tow, they thought that they hit the jackpot. Especially because Elon Musk had a specific problem with expanding Starlink to South Africa, given that the country required his company to adhere to the equity policies that are the law of the country when it comes to black ownership. Far-right Afrikaners were overjoyed because they thought that they were going to get what they wanted. And what they wanted was for the United States to pressure South Africa to change its laws, to diminish their drives for equity and inclusion, to stop with land reform. They didn't want to leave, they wanted to turn back time. They wanted to have the whip hand again, literally. What did the Trump administration do instead? An administration that is white supremacist, that is trying to increase the birth rate of white people in the country, that is not shy about saying so. It just opened the pathway for far-right Afrikaners and their kids to leave, to decrease even more the Afrikaner South African population, facilitate a brain drain in far-right Afrikaner communities. The Afrikaner leaders didn't want their own to leave. They wanted more power. This will only weaken their already weak hand.